everybody, and welcome back to some more gaming news. Yeah, we're gonna continue the depression train of late, at least with Xbox stuff. Nintendo stuff has been exciting with the announcement of the announcement that they will be announcing the successor to the Switch by March 2025 at the latest, and that the Switch is very much on track to become the best-selling video game console of all time, likely to surpass the PS2. Likely. Obviously, it's not 100% certain, but likely. But anyway, so yeah, if you missed the stuff from yesterday, from Xbox, they have closed, or will be shutting down. I mean, I don't know how long it takes to shut down the studios and whatnot. 3 studios. So yeah, if you missed it, Redfall and Prey developer Arkane Austin, specifically as I mentioned yesterday, Arkane Austin, not all of Arkane, Arkane Lyon in France is safe. They are fine. They're not taking a hit. Those are the developers of Dishonored, and the upcoming Blade, and Deathloop. So yeah, Arkane Austin, specifically the most recently Redfall developer, was shut down, as well as the Hi-Fi Rush and Evil Within developer Tango Gameworks. As I went into a bit of a rant yesterday of, I don't understand. Yes, Redfall was a bit of a flop. Arkane Austin could have been merged into, say, there is another Bethesda studio in Austin, so they can be merged into them to keep working on Fallout 76 or Elder Scrolls Online, or help with Elder Scrolls 6 development, or work on some other. For now, I don't get it. And then Tango Gameworks, which is their only Japanese studio that Xbox owns, has also been shut down. Again, most known for Evil Within and recently Hi-Fi Rush, which was highly praised but was not a big system, or not big system, was not a big seller, because even when it came out on the PS5 recently, it didn't actually chart on the PlayStation charts on the PlayStation Network. As well as the other game would be the Mighty Doom developer Alpha Dog. Mighty Doom being a mobile Doom game, which I heard did well, but I guess it didn't continue its success and died off somewhat quickly. And also Roundhouse Games is merging into ZeniMax Online Studios, which I think like they could at least done that with Arkane Austin, done something similar, but I digress. Just want to go over that really quickly. And then you got Matt Booty from, Matt Booty, Microsoft Gaming President of Game Content and Studios, who basically oversees Xbox Game Studios and Bethesda. Released an email about the changes and the layoffs and yada yada. The main thing is about putting more of a focus on blockbuster games. Referring to Bethesda, that would basically be Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and I guess Doom. Wolfenstein, maybe Quake. Obviously, other future games coming out from Bethesda is the Indiana Jones game from ZeniMax. From Machine Games. Excuse me on that one. Hopefully that game does well. It does look like a lot of fun. Machine Games did do the most recent Wolfenstein games. But yeah, Indiana Jones game, it does look good. Obviously, it's from a very popular IP, so yeah, I do hope the game is good and is a success. Also, this also makes me worried for other studios who just develop smaller games when they're saying they want to focus on blockbuster games. You know, Ninja Theory, which is coming out with Hellblade 2 in a couple of weeks, or Double Fine, which is known for smaller games. We'll see about Obsidian, coming out with Avowed later this year. Will they be like, all right, you guys, you're going to move on to a new Fallout game next after Avowed? Maybe. Hopefully they would want to do it if that is the case. And yeah, all the studios. I mean, it just seemed like after... Well, actually, you know what? We'll get into it in a second here. But remember, this is from a report from today from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, who is generally... has a lot of inside knowledge, is generally fairly accurate, and is one of the more trustworthy journalists out there with information compared to some of the leakers and insiders. Sometimes like, it's kind of iffy, some of the stuff they say, that report on anything they hear, even if it's just kind of like, well, this may be happening, or then they'll report on stuff like that. So this is, yeah. So yeah, Bloomberg's Jason Schreier is now reporting that Xbox is planning more cuts. So they're not done with potential cuts across the Xbox studios. Xbox Game Studios, with those studios that are there. You got the Bethesda umbrella as well as Activision Blizzard umbrella. So there's like 3 parts of Xbox, you could say. And the report also says from Bloomberg that Microsoft is offering voluntary severance agreements to producers, quality assurance testers, and other staff at ZeniMax. So they're asking people to voluntarily either, I guess you could say, retire or just leave, and offering them a severance agreement to do so to try to cut costs. But mind you, this is according to people familiar with Microsoft's plans, and several other sources across who work across the Xbox division also say, have been told more cuts are coming. So potentially you might see more cuts in some areas. In some ways, some cuts are to be expected when you're talking about like certain aspects. When you've got 3 different publishing umbrellas, there's a lot of overlap, so they might consolidate some of that. Some of those roles that have the overlap, but yeah, this is just, yeah. It's not, and of course, yeah, this one, Hi-Fi Rush. It sucks, because Hi-Fi Rush was a fantastic game. Yeah, it's not a huge AAA game, but it was so much fun. And so, very polished, to say the least. Anyways, so yeah, this is according to people who attended a meeting. But yeah, Xbox president, Matt Booty, did a town hall meeting with ZeniMax staff. And he praised Hi-Fi Rush. But he did not state why the studio was actually shut down. This is according to 3 people that Bloomberg talked with, who attended said meeting. So yeah, a town hall meeting with ZeniMax staff. The sources, those 3 sources, also claim Booty said the company's studios have been spread too thin, referring to ZeniMax specifically, which, obviously, yeah, Bethesda Game Studios, which, the most well-known part of ZeniMax, most likely, developers of Starfield, the main Fallout series, and the main Elder Scrolls games. Followed maybe by id Software, developers of Doom. And then Machine Games, who did Wolfenstein games. And obviously, of course, Tango Gameworks was just recently shut down. Arkane Austin was just shut down as well. But then Arkane Leon is safe, who's doing Marvel's Blade. But anyways, the sources claim Booty said the company's studios have been spread too thin, described as peanut butter on bread, or peanut butter spread across too much bread, or whatever, Leaders across ZeniMax have felt like they have been understaffed, so they closed 3 studios. And the reason for the studio closures was to free up resources to be used elsewhere, so they closed the studios to free up resources to be used elsewhere. So instead of moving those studios to be maybe working on other games, support studios for now, and then they work out to new games in the future, they lay them off. This seems odd, but maybe there were higher ups at Microsoft, some executives above Xbox, at Microsoft, whether it's a CEO of Microsoft, CTF of Microsoft, whatever, saying like, we're looking at these steps. You got to cut X amount of dollars, and this is the way they did it. I don't know if that's the case. The issue is AAA games now take 4, 5, 6 years to develop instead of the 2 to 3 years we used to see in the past. And obviously, we're talking about development costs 2 or 3 times higher than they were compared to even 5 or 10 years ago. So yeah. And Booty did add, this is in the town hall meeting, according to the sources who attended the meeting, did say the poor performance of Redfall was actually not the reason Arkane Austin was shut down. And they did claim the studio was looking to pitch a new single-player immersive sim game, like possibly a new entry in the Dishonored series. So yeah, it sounds like these studios were shut down because they were in between projects and they were going to ask for more resources and more money to be able to hire more staff to work on new games, but they decided to cut them completely instead of working something out. This whole debacle, man, I don't get it. Why can't more companies be like Nintendo? As I've mentioned before, Nintendo struggled during the Wii U era. They lost money in 2 or 3 years. But instead of laying employees off, because one thing they had mentioned, Satoru Iwata, the previous president and CEO of Nintendo, basically said, if we lay people off, that was going to kill morale, and that ain't going to make the best games when morale is terrible. So instead of laying people off, he and other executives at Nintendo took a pay cut. I believe his pay cut was like 50%. Other executives took a 20% pay cut to prevent layoffs from needing to happen. I wish more companies would do that. But you don't really see that in Western companies. You will see these executives still take their millions, tens of millions of dollars bonuses, millions of dollars a year in salary, and then lay off 10,000 employees or whatever. That maybe not 10,000, that's a lot, but you know what I mean. Laying off hundreds of thousands of employees, well, they still get their bonus. It's like, well, if you didn't take the bonus, you could have not done those layoffs or laid off fewer people. That's what I would do, but maybe that's why I'm not an executive, because I'm not ruthless. Because I'd be like, no. I'd rather take a pay cut myself. I don't need that $10 million bonus. I'd rather save those 100 jobs. But that's just me. Anyways, So, yeah, moving on. The head of ZeniMax Studios, Jill Braff, who also was in the town meeting, said the closures and reorganization will help them put more focus on fewer games. Well, yeah, you've got fewer studios to think about. Yeah, there will be fewer games. And obviously, as previously stated, Matt Booty is going to focus. Their focus right now is on... It's going to be blockbuster games. Maybe we'll see. I mean, yeah, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, by far the biggest IPs they got from Bethesda, but... Anyway, so yeah, Braff said it's hard, according to Bloomberg, who actually reviewed audio from the meeting that they received. It's hard to support 9 studios all across the world with a lean central team, with an ever-growing plate of things to do. I think we were about to topple over, which is why they closed them potentially. But like, maybe you should have done better at your job, or. Because the issue with Matt Booty is that he's also not just covering ZeniMax, Bethesda Studios. He was also doing the main Xbox Game Studios, which is like 15, 16 studios, I believe. So it's like, maybe you should have different people, you know? And then you come together to talk, but... Hey, the frustration, man. The frustration. So yeah, as I mentioned, Arkane Austin and Tango Gameworks were both looking to hire more employees as they pitch new games, which is the main factor as to why they were shut down. Instead of saying, like, sorry, we can't afford it right now, we need to do some cut some costs. So for now, we're going to have you guys work on these other games. Or focus on smaller games. Yo, Tango, we'll have you do smaller games. Sorry, we don't have the money to increase your staff. Okay. Arkane Austin, sorry, we'll have you support Elder Scrolls 6. We'll have you support Fallout 76 or Elder Scrolls Online or something. I don't know. Anyways. But yeah. According to a report that Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard has increased scrutiny on the Xbox division from leadership at Xbox. This is according to multiple sources. Yeah. So it just seemed like the higher-ups at Microsoft are looking down at Xbox a whole lot more now that the Xbox budget is a lot bigger than it used to be. It's a bigger percentage of Microsoft's overall spending. So now they want to look at that and try to get a higher return on investment, increase their profits across Xbox, even if it means cutting off 2 studios, which seems short-sighted, especially Tango Gameworks, their only Japanese studio, which I'm assuming is going to cause a lot of Japanese developers who were maybe looking at working with Xbox, even not being acquired by them, but like just working with them on future games, be like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't after that. Anyways, but yeah, the gaming industry, which saw massive growth during the pandemic, that growth has slowed down or stopped entirely over the last couple of years, which... Yeah, this year alone, nearly 10,000 people in the gaming industry have been laid off. This year alone, nearly 10,000. Just the gaming industry. Mind you, it's May 8th. It's a week into May. We have nearly 10,000 people have been laid off. That's on top of the little over 10,000 people who were laid off last year. So over the course of a year and 5 months or so, we're talking about 20,000 people have been laid off in the gaming industry. And someone's telling me this is not it. There will be more layoffs in the coming weeks and months. More. Obviously, it sounds like we might be getting more cuts at Xbox, or maybe we'll get more people voluntarily take severance agreements to leave to save them money, potentially. I know some companies do that, where they have employees who are like, you know, a year to 3 years, whatever, away from retirement. They give them a package like, hey, you can retire now, please. Here you go. You know, some companies have done that in the past. So maybe that's part of what this is. Try to get people to either retire early or get people to, hey, here's 6 months of pay and whatnot. So it doesn't look as bad for them when they do that. I don't know. But yeah, the gaming industry growth has slowed down considerably. And I know Xbox Game Pass, which is at 34 million subscribers, that comes out to $1 billion plus per quarter, about $4 billion plus per year in revenue. The other question mark right now is Call of Duty. It does sound like Xbox are debating internally to make Call of Duty Day 1 or not on Game Pass. I am thinking if they were to do that, Game Pass price is going to go up, and I mean more than we've seen. Kind of like how Disney Plus was, what, $6 or $7 at launch? Then it went up by like $1, and then they were, over the course of 2 years, it went up by $3, and then another $3 a year after that. I wouldn't be surprised if Game Pass, which had its first increase last year by, from $10 to $11 and $15 to $17 for Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate. I wouldn't be surprised if we see normal Game Pass go up to like $14 or $15 a month, and Game Pass Ultimate going up to like $25 a month, maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, if Call of Duty is to get Day 1 on Game Pass, because that's going to cause a lot of people to be like, why spend $70 on a game when I could just subscribe to Game Pass? The question is, do people keep the Game Pass subscription, just not bother, just let it renew every month, or are they going to have it for a month while they play Call of Duty, then they stop paying for it? Some people do that. They'll get Game Pass when it's that one game they want to play, and that's it. Some people just keep it, obviously, nonstop. But anyways, I think that's enough of me ranting about these cuts. I know, sorry about all the downer news of late, but it is what it is. Although, let's just do this. This is some little bit, ignoring some downer news, we're entering the big time. Oh, okay. The big time. I forgot I had my Xbox on. Because we're about to play a game that I have on my Xbox. But anyways, the big time of the big, not E3. It's coming up because E3 is dead. But yeah, Summer Game Fest, Day of the Dead's Return to Accessibility Showcase, Wholesome Direct Future Game Showcase, obviously the Xbox Game Showcase, Achievement Unlocked, Dark News. Yeah, right, I haven't wrote that timing though. I think it's because I haven't used it. It's like, it's going to shut down. Anyways. But yeah, Xbox Redacted Showcase, which is likely Call of Duty 2024. PC Gaming Show, Ubisoft Forward. Nintendo Direct is confirmed for sometime in June. We just don't know when it'll be. We do know it'll be focused on Nintendo Switch games coming out in the second half of this year. And there'll be no mention of the Switch 2, or the successor to the Switch. And then in August, THQ Nordic Digital Showcase. So yeah, I've got a list going on here, trying to keep tabs of all the showcases. As part of my job is running up all the gaming news. So this time of year, watching these gaming showcases back to back to back, and trying to keep with all the gaming announcements and the trailers and then the press releases and everything, it's a lot of work. But I do enjoy it. I enjoy watching, because even if I wasn't doing this for a living, I would watch most of these showcases anyway. At least the biggest ones. But I get paid to do it, so, or at least get paid to write about it, I should say. So, anyways, so yeah, at least there's a little bit of bright spot. Hopefully this bad news going on with gaming, whether it's Xbox or even just any other gaming studios with layoffs, hopefully it'll start ending soonish. For some time, it's at least going through this year. And hopefully we can just focus on why are we gamers? It's to play the games. That's why. Hopefully we can start focusing on that going forward. Xbox has got Hellblade 2 coming out in a couple of weeks. So hopefully it performs well enough, Ninja Theory is safe, and yeah, they can keep going. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching and me ranting for 17, nearly 18 minutes at this point. If you enjoy these rants, be sure to subscribe. I try to do these whenever at least there's bigger gaming news to go over. And be sure to hit the like button. Comment down below if you have any thoughts to add, or if I missed anything, or you think this is ridiculous, or you think some stuff is overblown, it's not as bad as it looks. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch y'all next time for some more gaming news, gaming let's plays, and other gaming industry information.